How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, there's been a new addition to my shop, and we're going to talk about this thing over the next couple of videos maybe, but I didn't want to bore you with the specifics of a review right away, and I thought we would just go straight into doing a little Christmas project because Christmas is just a couple of weeks away now at this point. And my wife was asking for some little Christmas tree-like things for a couple of reasons. We were thinking about hanging them up outside, but I don't think we're going to end up doing that with these. But these are really nice, very, very simple and very, very easy little projects to make. And they look nice to sit on your table or on your mantle or, wherever you want to use them as Christmas decorations. My wife liked it a lot, so I figured I'd do a quick video on them because it shouldn't take very long. So if you want to see how I made these, stick around and I'll show you. So I'm just using some 1/4-inch plywood here along with a design file for these trees that I got for a couple of bucks off Etsy, which I'll link for you in the description below, along with affiliate links for all the other tools and equipment I'm using in this video, including this brand new XTool S1 Laser Engraver. I will be following up this video with a review of this laser. Spoiler, it's pretty awesome, as well as comparison against my Laser Alpha, which will be helpful to any of you wondering what the differences are between an enclosed system like this one and an open gantry system like that one. Another spoiler, the differences are pretty significant, particularly where safety is concerned. But for now, I want to focus on this simple and inexpensive Christmas project that is easy to make in large batches and sell at a low price point, which is perfect for craft fairs and the like. All right, so it came out pretty good. I need to play with the settings a little bit. On the back, I got this honeycomb pattern, like burning, which not a huge deal. I should be able to sand that out. But also these gaps are a little bit wider than I would like, so I'm going to try to make them a little bit smaller. But because of the application that I'm actually using this for, if you're just standing this up, this would be fine. But I'm going to hang it, so I want them to be a little tighter than that. But actually came out pretty neat. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is get some of this charring off real quick from the laser. It's not real bad, so I don't need to spend a lot of time on this. Plus, we're going to stain it anyway, so it's not really all that important. I just want to get the loose stuff off. We definitely don't want to get through to the, through that first ply though, so be careful of that. You're going to want to be careful on these corners here. Like I just chipped a little piece off. I smoothed it back down again. Once it's stained, you won't notice it, but there's always that danger. Oh, looks like one of these guys didn't make it all the way out. The nice thing about these laser projects is that you can finish them really relatively quickly. You can just batch these out. Like I could have another one cutting right now while I'm sitting here doing this, and I'm going to spend 5 minutes sanding it and then another 5 minutes staining it and painting my star here on top, and then you just let it dry while you work on the next one and the next one. And I mean, you can do 20 or 30 of these in a day pretty easily. Probably much more than that once you become efficient at your process. But if you're doing like craft fairs and things like that, these things are the type of things that you can sell for cheap, and the cheap stuff is typically what sells the best. You might not be selling the more expensive things, but you're selling a lot of the least expensive things, and it adds up. All right, so the first thing I want to do is paint my star. So I need to tape off the bottom part there from getting any of that gold glittery overspray that I'm gonna have from the paint that I'm using. So I'm just going to do this as easily as possible here. I'll go ahead and do both sides now because it might be more difficult to do this other side later when it's wet. All right, that's that. We'll put her up on a couple of bench cookies just to keep it up off the table. I don't want to get too much of that gold. This gold glitter paint's kind of messy if you've never used it before. I also want to try to cover up these dark edges as best as I can, but I don't want to be spraying this stuff all over the place trying to get on those small spots and wasting a bunch of it. So for me, the easiest way to do that is to just spray some out like this, and then just use a Q-tip and pick it up and just kind of paint it on there. All right. Yeah, so we'll just let this sit and dry for a few minutes. Then we'll pull the tape off and start working on the stain. And while we're waiting for that one, we can just go ahead and start staining this one. I would actually prefer to just paint these, but I don't have any paint in this color on hand. And I do have this Minwax Hunter Green that will work for this purpose. But it is the new formula semi-transparent, which is honestly a pretty terrible stain. I won't go into it in detail here because I have 2 flag staining videos in which I explain all that in a lot more detail. I'll link those in the description below if you're interested. The bottom line is that it's thick and just kind of nasty to use. With the old formula, you could just apply it thinly like paint and leave it on, and you would get a rich, full-colored result through which you could still see the burned wood grain beneath, and it was really great on rustic flags. This stuff is goopy, it dries incredibly fast, and it's just difficult to work with. You absolutely have to wipe it off pretty much immediately after you put it on. The new formula solid stain is much more like the original formula, and it yields much better results. In any case, with this stuff, I basically just put on an initial layer, wipe it off, and then I brush on a very, very light and thin second coat, and hopefully I can get it nice and even, which usually I can, but it does take a little bit of practice. I suggest you save yourself the headache and either paint these or use the solid version of the stain. All right, once the stain dries, it's pretty simple. You just slide them together, and it stands up nicely on its own. And that's it. I really like the way that gold looks on the start. It comes out nice. You know, the tree looks good. I'm happy with that. I like it. It's a very, very simple project. You know, you could sell that for like $10 and you can make a whole bunch of those. You know, if you want to make it extra special, you could go out and buy some LED lights and wrap around it, which I'll show you in a minute because I have some. They basically just come with a small battery pack and, you know, like 50 LED lights or so on there. You know, and then you'd have to raise the price up to $15 or $20, but you know, it gives it a nice little touch. In any case, this is another option. So I saw this at my big box store and I was like, oh wow, that'd be really cool for this project. So I went and bought some. It's kind of on the expensive side. My assumption was that it would, you know, basically look like that white stuff that you see on wreaths and fake Christmas trees. And it does, it looks like that, but it's not exactly the same. The problem that I have with it is that it doesn't really dry. Well, it dries, but it doesn't dry hard. So, well, here, let me show you, because I did one with this off camera already, and I'm not going to do this one like that because I wasn't real happy with the way it came out. So here's this one. As you can see, I've already got lights wrapped around it and everything, and I've got this faux snow stuff on there, and I mean, it looks okay. The problem is like this. You see this area here and here and here and here and here. It looks all right, but when this stuff dries, it doesn't dry hard. It dries like baby powder. So anytime you touch it, it literally will just wipe off like baby powder, and it won't stay on there. That's the problem with it. It doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't stay on very well. It doesn't like just fall off from sitting there, but you know, just picking it up, moving it around. You see where I grabbed it right there? I mean, it just comes off, and I don't know. It's more of a pain than anything else. I think I might try to wipe it off later, see if I can get it off. I suspect it'll come off pretty easily. But in any case, that's what it looks like if that's something that you want to do. And then again, you can also put the lights on it like that, and gives it a little extra something, have some lights on there. Looks better in the dark, and I'll show you that here in a second. But I think I like this one better. I'm going to leave it like this. And again, you can pump these out pretty fast and easy if you wanted to, and sell them for really cheap. And that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you want to learn more about this machine, the XTool S1 Laser Engraver, be sure to stay tuned on the channel, because I will be doing a full review video on this here very shortly. And like I said earlier, it's pretty darn awesome. There are some very unique safety features that come with this machine, and that are included with the enclosed system, which I'll do a comparison between this one and my Alga Laser Alpha to explain those differences to you and why you might want one over the other. But in any case, if you have an interest in this, I will leave an affiliate link for it in the description below. And that's going to be it. I promised you a short video. Hopefully I delivered on that. And we'll just leave it at that. As always, thanks for watching. Stay safe and happy woodworking. I will see you on the next one.